Hello everyone. In today's video, I'm going to tell you a true story about a disturbing mystery inside a Japanese nursing home. So, let's get right to it. In the early hours of November 4th, 2014, someone looked into the back garden of a nursing home in Kawasaki, Japan, and saw an elderly man lying on the ground. His name was Tamio Ushizawa. He was 87 years old, required extensive help with daily life, and lived on the 4th floor. He was taken to a hospital, but died several hours later. Police examined the scene and concluded that Ushizawa had fallen. There was no witness, no security footage showing what had happened, and apparently no reason to suspect that anyone had attacked him. The nursing home was simply instructed to prevent another accident. 5 weeks later, it happened again. At around 4:10 on December 9th, 86-year-old Chieko Nakagawa was found in the same back garden. She had also fallen from a 4th-floor balcony. Nakagawa needed assistance with ordinary movement, but a folding chair on the balcony seemed to explain how she had crossed the railing. Once again, her death was treated as a fall. Then, in the final hours of 2014, a third resident went over a balcony. Her name was Nobuko Asami. She was 96, stood less than 5 feet tall, and required substantial daily care. At approximately 2:10 in the morning, she was discovered below the 6th floor. The railing was about 4 feet high. 3 residents had fallen from the same building in less than 2 months. All 3 deaths occurred late at night, and all 3 bodies landed behind the facility, hidden from the street. But the strangest detail concerned Asami. She had not fallen from her own room. To reach the balcony investigators identified, she would have needed to pass through another resident's locked room. Either a severely limited 96-year-old woman had entered a locked room and climbed over a railing, or someone with access had taken her there. Even then, the deaths did not immediately become a murder investigation. No autopsies had been performed, the scenes contained no decisive physical evidence, and the incidents were still officially accidents. Months passed. Then the nursing home attracted attention for other reasons. A family secretly recorded workers abusing a resident. And in May 2015, a young care worker named Hayato Imai was arrested for stealing from another. As authorities examined the facility more closely, they returned to the 3 balcony deaths and compared the overnight staffing records. 3 employees worked each night. Different people appeared on different shifts, but only 1 employee had been working during all 3 fatal falls. It was Hayato Imai. Imai was in his early 20s. When reporters questioned him in 2015, he denied pushing anyone and said he understood why people might suspect him. But suspicion was not proof. There was no eyewitness, no video, and no forensic trace clearly showing that someone had forced the residents over the railings. By early 2016, police were questioning Imai repeatedly. Then, on February 15th, something changed. Imai confessed. He admitted killing Ushizawa, Nakagawa, and Asami. His account contained details that matched the scenes. He said he had placed Nakagawa on a folding chair. A chair had been found on her balcony. He said he had put Ushizawa's hands against the railing. Ushizawa's prints were there. The interrogations were recorded. Prosecutors believed they finally had the explanation connecting all 3 deaths. But then, Imai stopped cooperating and eventually withdrew the confession. He said pressure, exhaustion, and concern for his family had caused him to confess falsely. He claimed police guided parts of his account. Because he worked inside the home and was present after the deaths, his defense argued he already knew details about the scenes. When Imai went on trial in 2018, the question was whether murder could be proved without a witness, decisive physical evidence, or a confession the defendant still accepted. Prosecutors asked the court to consider the pattern. The victim's limitations made 3 independent falls highly improbable. Asami could not easily have reached the locked room. Imai alone appeared on all 3 relevant shifts, and his recorded confession, they argued, was freely given and accurate. The defense offered alternative possibilities: accident or suicide, investigative suggestion, and a false confession from a vulnerable suspect. Imai told the court, "I didn't do anything." The judges and lay jurors accepted that case. On March 22, 2018, the Yokohama District Court found Imai guilty of all 3 murders and sentenced him to death. It ruled that accident or suicide did not reasonably explain the falls and that his confession was credible. Imai maintained his innocence. In March 2022, the Tokyo High Court rejected his appeal. His lawyers then went to Japan's Supreme Court. But in May 2023, Imai withdrew his appeal. He reportedly said that after fighting for years, he had reached his mental and physical limit. His lawyers challenged the withdrawal, but it was allowed to stand. The death sentence became final. The case ended with a legal answer, but without the evidence people normally imagine solving a murder. No camera captured the balconies. No witness saw anyone pushed. No single forensic discovery identified the killer. What convicted Hayato Imai was the pattern of 3 nights, his presence on each of them, and a confession he gave once, and spent years trying to take back. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.